Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome to a premiere Best of One Kaldheim Draft with your host, Travis Semulin Sowers. This will likely be the last Kaldheim Draft. Let's start over. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. You've been watching long enough to know what I'm doing by now. You should come watch the stream. It's at twitch.tv/Semulin. That's what you should do. We're going to take the Calamity Bearer because it is incredibly better than any of the cards in this pack. I think this will be our last Kaldheim draft, as the drafts have to go up the day after I draft them to YouTube. So we're probably just going to skip the next one and then start with Strixhaven stuff on Friday for the YouTubes. But if we can possibly be in red, this will make us happy. So we're going to be actively looking to take red cards and stay in red. Interestingly, there's Demon Bolt and there's Squash. I think in the blind, I might prefer the Demon Bolt, but I'm kind of thinking about that Squash. This is not the last draft for the day, Paul. We'll be drafting for the rest of today and all of tomorrow and playing a lot of Kaldheim, but it's probably the last Kaldheim video I'll post on YouTube. I'm actually not sure which of these two is better. I know that the rest of the table is likely to value Demon Bolt higher, which means I should probably take it. I just like that Squash can kill Linda, but like, if that really only matters if I'm in blue-red, right? Because I could get, Feed the Serpent. I guess it would matter in red-green too. Squash does not often wheel, but it usually goes later than this. But something's telling me we can just kind of stick with red giants for now. It might wheel. It could happen. It doesn't happen very often, especially in Best of One. People really like to play red, but for some reason nobody wants to take red cards here, so whee! So like our goal is to figure out what is most open to pair with our red cards. And I'd certainly play an Iron Verdict in white. I'm trying to decide now whether I like the Immerstrom Raider or the Frostbite. I think I like the Frostbite because I can usually find these a little later. I don't like Frostbite when you're incredibly aggressive because it's just a 2-drop functionally that can't attack or block. It's just there to trade with your opponent's crap. But if we're a little on the defensive side, we could use this to get a Raptor, the Michael Bay Raptor, out of the air, or 2-drop blocker out of the way. We could do a lot of things with this potentially. And I think we found what we would like to pair with, which might be black. Black-red is one of my favorite color pairs anyway, and this is a 2/3 menace 4/3 that draws you a card and ramps you a little bit. It's not a bad card. So my guess is that we're going to be doing black-red Berserkers, which interestingly, this is a Berserker. And this is a Giant Wizard. But if you get enough Berserkers, your Giant Wizard can do Giant Wizard things. There's nothing here to move me off of it. I've won a lot of games against some very prominent Magic players by putting Raven Wings on a Calamity Bearer. And I'm kind of thinking I might try to do it again. They are, and I don't mind playing them and would probably play 3 of them. But again, Raven Wings on this dude, pretty freaking good. So now a bit of a moment to consider. We could take Behold and go in a very different direction. We could take Tegrid's Shadow, which can be quite good, but isn't always. Because like, generally speaking, this style of deck wants to curve out, not have a, what is that, Barter in Blood? I'm still going to take the uncommon, but I don't even know that this makes the deck. It depends on how aggressive we get. I know I want this Rune of Mortality. I also want the Axgard Cavalry and the Craven Hawk, but we're black now. Is it possible we're building some sort of weird control-y red-black deck? Not really. It's possible we're just not playing the Tegrid's Shadow. I'd need a bunch of picks for me to want a Slumber Mound. I don't think I want 2 Frostbites, but I could. You're remembering that tourney where the winner had 2 Calamity Bearers and was launching them with an Axe Guard? Do you remember what streamer that was? If we get very control-y, I could play Seize the Spoils. I've played Vault Robert some, but the Hoggy Mob's kind of cute with the Rune of Mortality. That was me with the double Calamity Bearer. I won the tournament. It was fun. If Seize the Spoils is played, this probably is too. And there's the Raider that we took the wings over, so we still get to keep it. Thanks, Paul. Bit of an underwhelming pack for us here. I don't like splashing Sarolf, which I've explained on stream a lot, but I guess since we're doing the YouTube video, I can explain. This card is really good when you can turn 3 it and then kill things. It's not particularly good when you turn 6 it and then hope that they block bad. So I really like Sarolf a lot if you're green-black. I don't like splashing it. So I think we're just looking at an Axe Guard Cavalry, which does play nicely with a Calamity Bearer, to be fair, but like this is not a great open for us, and we're not wheeling anything. That is another rune, which if I got a bunch of picks, we could play. Like, I could play a Breakneck Berserker, but I don't want to. I want that to be Tuskegee Firewalkers. I could try picking up a couple of these for the Frostbite, but I don't care that much. Yeah, I think the question here is like, do I take the rune for the upside of we get a couple picks or a crown and we can play it? Or do I take this and hope we get like 5 more and can make the Frostbites better? I think the rune has higher upside. And I think if we're fighting to get 3/2 haste in this deck, we're probably in the wrong colors. And I don't think we are. And I suppose there's a world where we get into green instead if we get past, I don't know, something amazing. The Packmate was almost enough to do it until I noticed the Rune Crown. Because the Crown means I can play the Rune of Might and the Rune of Mortality, whatever color I am. But like another one of these and all of a sudden we're talking. So Ager has some questions for me, and it's how do you feel about being an actual giant stack? Because at this point, the only cost to play the Ager and move a little bit further into giants would be I don't get Blood Sky Massacre. I'm okay with that. Like, we're probably playing one of these two. Both of these can still be in the deck with the Crown. I will need a pick or some way to generate treasure, but like that could be a Seize the Spoils or a Grave Robert. And I can always just play whichever one looks better. So let's see where this goes. Holy carp. Do I want 2 crowns and 2 runes, or do I just I think I just want the other Demon Bolt. Is Ager that good? So the spot that it's filling is 3 mana value creature that draws cards. I already have one of those. So this way I get to play either of them, right? Ager's also pretty great if your opponent plays a Toski. We've done that before too. 2 crowns is lit. 2 Demon Bolts is even more lit. I should take the Tormentor's Helm, but do you notice that we have 5 Berserkers? That we could get more Berserkers? God, how am I playing this in this color pair? I need a pick anyway. Let's get a pick. Or just Infinite Demon Bolts works too. Yoinks. Okay, I think we've probably found our line here, and it's that we're going to probably do this. Cut the Raven Wings and focus on Berserkers. I need a couple duels for this to work. Or picks. Which I may not get. Which I could live without if I had to. It's fine. Right, like we can always bring in Frostbite. We can bring in Seize the Spoils. We got options. We can copy our 2-drops and our 3-drops and our 4-drop and our 5-drop currently. I also am not required to play it. That plays nicely with the Rune of Mortality. I don't always love the Fearless Pop, but it looks like we're playing a deck that could use it. And I'm still not convinced whether we're blue or black yet, right? Because like a Death Nail Berserker could move us in one direction, a second copy of Aegir could move us in another one, but I think I actually want the pick out of this pack. Because the pick gives us the option to, whatever color we're not playing, we can pretty easily splash the rune from the other side, and it gives us a solid base to put the rune on to begin with. So like, I could reasonably splash the Blood Sky Massacre and a Rune of Mortality with this and Seize the Spoils. It's kind of funny to me, but here we are. We could probably draw 2 with Glimpse the Cosmos, and I don't think I need another squash. I think this is probably going to move us out of the Berserker plan. But I'm pretty okay with that. And I could still conceive of splashing this. This Arcanist would be quite nice for us with the 3 Demon Bolts. It might even be reason enough to play the second Frostbite. But I think we've got something here. I wouldn't mind some duels. I'm not going to get any duels. Why is this still here? I don't need that rune. We could play that rune. I don't need it. I need a couple more bodies. I may still take it and do something like this. So we could play one of these dudes. We could play Seize the Spoils. I could play the second Frostbite. You're starting to see we've just got too many cards and not enough of them do anything. I do need bodies, and I'm starting to think the Blood Sky Massacre just doesn't fit. I may end up cutting the Reflections too. I don't think it's a must play, and we're not quite tribally deep enough for that to do work for us. This is a gift, and we are happy to see it. It's also a Berserker, which does make this even more likely. There's an Avalanche Caller, which seems incredibly late, but it also seems like we're probably not going to be able to find the Snowlands to get it going. Creature count's at 13, which is mostly good enough. Behold is fine, but I don't need it. I think I'm actually going to take the Caller and see if we see a few here. Because I'm already running one copy of Seize the Spoils and Glimpse of the Cosmos. Like, I just don't need that much card draw. And, like, these are both cycling. We've got this to get them back. I can draw some, potentially draw some stuff if I draw Aegir in conjunction with a removal spell. I just don't think I need it. I don't think we're actually likely to play any of this. I mean, this gives me an argument to play the Avalanche Caller. It's not likely to come up, but it could. If I wheel another one, I'm going to put him in there. I could conceivably play Bind too. There's a lot of options for this deck. I did feel like red was definitely open. I just was really not sure what to pair it with. This might actually be better here than the pop. I'm gonna have to think about that. Yeah, we ended up with too many playables, which is a wonderful problem to have. And like, there's good stuff in the sideboard too. With 8 Berserkers, I can probably play the Reflections as long as I don't cut any Berserkers. I don't think I need Disdainful Stroke. I'm kind of digging the Harbinger if we're maining blue, just because like I've got a significant amount of cards that could benefit from it. And I think my early game plan is to block, but even if it is, I might be better off just trimming this and keeping the Wolf. Because the Wolf is super cute with the Rune. It can do stuff with Frostbite and Demon Bolt. I think this deck actually wants the pop. The problem is now there's 3 cuts and I don't know what they are. How many Giants for Glimpse now? 5. I think one of the Frostbites can go. It's mostly a shock. I think the Breakneck Berserker can go. It's mostly filler. And then our last cut is the real question. Well, I think the 3 copies of Demon Bolt make the Arcanist a good draw most of the time, which means I don't need the 2 copies of Frostbite. We could try a read on Hand Smoother, but I'm nervous about playing a 7-drop and a deck that has legitimate mana sinks. Like, the Immerstrom Raiders make me kind of not want to do that. Like, I can just pitch the extra lands to them. Do you need the pick? I wouldn't say that we need it, but I'd like to have it. I think it can do a lot in this deck. I need something to be able to put the Rune of Flight on. If I don't draw the Runed Ground, then the pick is that something. And it's kind of my justification for playing the Cinderheart Giant, because if I can connect a couple times and then play that on turn 5, that's pretty damn good. You like Seas more than Raiders. This deck needs Seas. Is Reflections the cut? Not with 8 Berserkers. I think the cut's Frostbite. I don't think we're super happy that that's the cut, but I think that's the cut. I think I'd like to play 1 Swamp, and I think I can get away with it too. Because we can just go 8-8-1. I kind of need red early, don't I? And I need double red. But I almost have to go 9-7-1. Which I can totally do. Whee! You're the winner. What makes this deck need Seas? I can never figure out when to cut the card and when to keep it. What's the motivation for varying basics? I think it's funny. So a deck needs Seas if you're a little more on the controlling side. If you're a little less interested in curving out, but interested in having like a 7-drop in your deck that could get stuck in your hand. Or maybe a rune that you can't cast. So like you're doing an awkward splash. You can't quite convince yourself that you want to run 16 lands, but you also don't have enough to justify 17 lands. Seas just kind of fits in all of that. And if you want some raw card draw. So, like, I think this deck is hitting criteria where I would rather have Seize than Behold the Multiverse. Because I'm not looking to just draw cards early. I'm looking to kind of set up things, like a few things that can attack, maybe some of my equipments, and then we're going to win with the late game stuff. Yeah, that too, Bim. We could get it back off the Rune Crown. So there's a lot of things going on here. But I think the more aggressive your deck is, the less interested you are in Seize the Spoils. I think this is almost a blue-red card. I think it's secretly mostly there for Giants. I've played it in aggro decks and been pretty unhappy with the results. All right, let's go ahead and do our Stream Raiders battle. Oh, and for those of you watching on YouTube, we hit Mythic yesterday, so we're now climbing to get Mythic #1. I forgot that happened right after the YouTube video. I liked the Egypt event more than this one. There wasn't quite as much variation in the maps this time around. Somebody said that early, and I was like, well, once we've seen the whole event, who knows? Then we saw the whole event, and I was like, eh. They were kind of right. Is that a chicken throwing eggs at people? Seems like a weird way to attack someone. Lara Mathis with the kills, Ethan with the assists. Rewards for Guiton Fort, Oddball, Mark the Shark, and Casimir Dragon. And soon we will have a blue chest for you all. Oop. Oop. All right, we are grinding to #1 on the Mythic ladder. That game is Stream Raiders Wicked Burn. It's kind of just a fun thing to do between rounds. !SR if you'd like to play. It's free. You place units, we fight a battle, we get loot. Usually we win. Sometimes we do stupid stuff like put the tanks behind the mages and then we lose. What's up, Ike? All right, we can talk about this. Who's a good cat thing? Well, our 2/5 giant just became a worse draw. I think we're going to just respect that. We've been had. How would one be greedy in that scenario? I think I want the one in my hand on it right now. Because I want a flying Calamity Bearer. Yeah, that's assuming they can't trigger it. Like, I'm going to respect my opponent enough to think that they could trigger it. Fair. You said incredibly greedy, and it was. And there you go. Praise Banan. Yeah, use they if you don't mind. We don't know if we're playing against a boy or a girl or non-binary person. Opponent is acceptable. They weren't talking to you, Ike. Good evening, Aloy. I hope things are well in your world. Guten Abend. Seven drops about what we were looking for there. Gonna have to roll up my sleeves and get Cirrus. Now, it gets real. Why did I play a snow-covered mountain? I have zero incentive to be doing that. How many lands are we running? 17. Yeah, but one of them don't do nothing for frost bits. Oh yeah, fair. That must have been it. I think we're already dead. But there is some possibility we can get out of this. I think Redain punishes you. It's incredibly awkward. Hey, thank you for the frost bits, Aloy. Y'all spam some cats for Aloy. Thank you very much, my friend. I think if we can get them to keep pumping it, maybe we can catch this, but... Yeah, so there's two things that are kind of fringe, but could punish you. That thing's dang near killing me. None of this is what I want right now. I guess I could... I don't have time to reflections and try to do shenanigans. I honestly don't even have time to play the pick and equip here. Because this is what? If they want to go all in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we'd go to 4, and then it's just chump block for the rest of the game. It's also lethal if I don't play a blocker this turn, so this kind of really sucks. But I don't think we can beat an Eyeside Troll. Because it must be blocked every turn, unless one of these is a pump spell, in which case I'm already just dead. Why play the Helm turn 3 instead of Aegir? We did not have any blue mana on turn 3. We drew the blue mana off of the Helm. So I've got one less mana to work with than I'd like. I may need to see if I can find another giant, cast it, and cast the Ravager. That's not going to happen. I think I know my line here. I don't particularly like it. This is really awkward. Like, we're mostly dead just to a Snuggle to Skim far. Huh. I would have presumed they'd have tapped the other one. That has to be chumped next turn, not this turn. Unless that's the combat trick. But again, I'm just dead to the combat trick. So it's 3. No, it's 7. They would have to tap out, but I'd have to chump literally everything next turn. I don't think the Cinderheart's going to matter, right? Because let's say I play the Cinderheart here. I think I'm just taking lethal. I certainly am now. So we would need... I don't think there's an... I don't think we can do this. Yeah, the Cinderheart isn't enough. That's not helping. The Cinderheart still isn't enough. But that's what they're talking about, Paul. Use they in that sentence if you don't mind. We do not know the gender of our opponent. And I would like us to be as inclusive as possible. We could hit for 5 here and then another 2. That's 7, which is decidedly less than 11. We're just dead. Lame. Stumbled a little bit and that troll got us. I think I should take out the Snow Forest. It's incredibly unlikely that it matters. But it is just strictly worse if I don't have any cards that want it. We might could fit it in here. I don't know that it does a whole lot for me. So in this set, there's Redain and Waking the Trolls that could, in theory, punish you for playing Snowlands. So if you have literal no snow synergy in your deck, which ours doesn't, then they're just strictly worse basics. Again, it's incredibly fringe, because I'd have to run into 2 specific rares, but, like, there's no reason to have it in there. It doesn't do anything. I think a lot of the benefit of the Red Saga is that you can play it on turn 3, the Black-Red Saga, and if I can't play it on turn 3, I'm not as interested in it. It's one of those things that when you think about it, it's pretty dang good on curve, and after that, it's like, it's mostly a 2-3 menace, which is not bad, but if it was just, you know, 2 and a black for 5-3 menace, nobody would be like, Ermagerd, get that in your deck. We drew the combo. We can discard this and then flood. I'm pretty excited about that, actually. I may just foretell the Demon Bolt and see where we go. I think that's the line for me. And that sucks. That is the second time we've gotten plowed today. I don't much care for it. It's possible they can't crew it this turn. It does take a good bit, but if they play an Ox, we're faced with the uncomfortable question of, do we just block with Aegir? Or do we make them do it again next turn? And I think I'm going to make them do it again next turn, but I'm scared. That is a combat trick for sure, so get me with it. No? Just want to feed me cards? I like cards. Aegir's not doing too bad, no. Well, I was gonna say we're clearly casting the giant here, but now I think we wait a turn. Because I want to. Yeah, that's fair. The deciding factor here is that they don't have more lands. They were leaning on this as for mana production and didn't get it. I don't know, maybe they just played 2 lands. Dang it, Bobby, I didn't want to draw that here. We presumably still swing with a bunch of this, though. I should be able to swing Team. This has Trample. This is just 4 damage to face here, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. Chonk. Turns out when your opponent draws 2 lands, you're probably going to win. Solid Magic advice you can catch in this channel. I'm so ready for Strixhaven. I'll keep it for a turn. Probably letting it go here. Okay, if they're not black-white, I'm less scared with this going in their graveyard. I've seen people recently use Wither Crowns to, this is probably enough value to get out of the darn thing and then we can let it go. But I've seen people use it and then get it back with the Shepherd of Herpaderp. And that's actually not a bad combo. I suppose there's an argument to keep it for 1 more turn in case I just draw another red source. Like, Hoggy Mob wouldn't be terrible here. So I think I'm going to keep it again. That's good enough. Because I suspect this is a Jarl, which we would Demon Bolt. Not a Jarl? Okay, cool. Get him. That's pretty cool, Michael. For all we know, they're playing a Tegrid Shadow over there too, which would be like, cool, get me. I got a Linda here and I just lose. No, would appear not. You got a pump spell and struggle for Skimfar is what you're selling. Okay, they do indeed have the mammoth growth. Do they also have the struggle? Because this would be a good turn to struggle if they're going to do it. They do. All right. I don't think I want to offer the trade here because of Rune of Mortality. If I top deck Rune of Mortality, I can just kill them. Island does not work. We're not out of Demon Bolts. We've got at least one left. We got 2 left. What we're out of is Islands. I should have put some of those in the deck. I think we take out the Sarulf and do it now. So if there's a combat trick, they use it instead of when they're attacking. I think that's what I'm the most scared of. There's an argument to just go ahead and trade this off and let them have the 2/2. But I still don't think I'm ready, considering I've got, again, a top deck that just wins. I probably do let the Axgard Cavalry go now. Like, I've taken 8 damage off of that thing. It's hard for me to believe we're not either going to top deck, well, one of 8 cards that we need. But this makes me want to keep it another round. Like, this may be the best Wither Crown I've ever seen. Of course, it may also be the best me not drawing lands I've ever seen. So there's that. We could arguably attack, trade this, eat that, leave ourselves with a reasonably sized board, but... Yeah, fair. 9 counting the crown. But I think it is now finally time to let the Axgard Cavalry rest. You've done well. Your service is appreciated, but we no longer need you. Man, how surprised are they going to be when I draw an island and empty my hand? We do not have another swamp to draw. It is a one of. Das Pick, ja. Very handy. Much wow. I may as well put it here because if I draw the Death Touch rune, I just put it on that. So the pick needs you to deal combat damage. The pinging is not combat damage. So I think there's a possibility, this might be a little crazy, but if I play this in name Bird and then attack with the Hoggy, nah. We would want to name Giant off of this. And I kind of want to use this turn since it uses all of my mana, so let's just get this going. I should have attacks here in a minute. Because this is basically another Demon Bolt and a pair of 4/5s. But I should be at the point now where I can attack with the Hoggy Mob and trade it for the Death Nail Berserker. And once that's out of the way, well, the challenge would be what if they just block it with the Mentor and the Outrider? That could potentially be bad. Yeah, if I run up the pig first, then I don't have to worry about it, but I'd need another blue for that. Yeah, double Arcanist would have been neat to get both of them. I would have liked that. This slows things down a little bit, but it's okay. You cannot shoot face to get the treasure. I like this attack. I think you should continue with this line. There's no way I'll beat it. That's definitely the right one to get. Bye-bye. Blue cards are pretty good. I liked them. All right, let's do our Stream Raiders battle, and while this is running, I'm going to take a quick potty break. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'll be back in just a second. Thank you for your patience. Looks like we've got Adam with the kills, Sailor with the assists, and rewards for Mike, Dragon, Nitsu, and Oddball. And me. Go me. My love for you is like a truck. Giant Bazooka. Yes, blue mana does seem handy in our blue deck. News at 11. The queues do take a little longer once you hit Mythic, it looks like. You wait for 3 minutes and then play against somebody in Platinum. Sorry, my Discord is happening right now. If you are not in my Discord for spicy reactions and hot takes, you are missing out. !Discord to get in. Deck Doctor things I can't super help you with, but I have something like it in that I can be a draft doctor. If you were using the 17 lands platform to track your winnings, it's also tracking your drafts, and I could go back and look at them with you and give you some pointers. How does skill level of opponents change as the league progresses in best of 3? It does not appear to, and it doesn't, frankly, appear to much here. It's difficult to know the skill level of my opponents. I haven't seen people making obvious mistakes in either places. At the beginning of a format, you will see people making stupid plays in best of 3 and best of 1. I had my turn all planned out, and then that happened. I'm gonna be pretty happy having this. That's probably our win condition. I guess that settles that. I don't want to trade this for that. But I don't have much of an option. God, Squash is not going to be good enough if they can kill this dude. Demon Bolt should be fine, because I could play that and the Raider. There's a really good trade for them, so I can't imagine they won't take it. They can also put me to 1. Yes, 1 is not 0. It is close, but it is not. GG's, Jimmy Jazz. Variance is a part of the game we must embrace, eh? No fear. No fear at all. I like it. Did you always try to pick axe every deck color? Are you talking about the pick, I think, is what you're trying to say? I would pick the pick quite highly. It's very good. I don't particularly want it to be very good, but it is. We've got some demon bolts in here, and I was thinking we was gonna find them, but then we didn't. That was pretty good. I could use one of them demon bolts about now. I think I'm dead. Look at that demon bolt. I still don't think it's good enough. I wanted to put the Hoggy Mob on the Death Touch rune and pew pew, but yeah, that'll do, pig. Unfortunate. I mean, we just died to a pick and couldn't get our pick going. Like, it's a pick's world. We're just living in it. Stevie! Steve! Welcome to the Fat Cat Club, man. Thank you very much for your support. Y'all spam some cats for Steve! How did you find the stream, if you don't mind me asking? I always like to hear where the new viewers came from. That's not nearly enough cats, boys and girls. There you go. It's getting better. Good evening, Atom. But I mean, we had one and it got censored because it was too sexy for Twitch. Ow.
It's it. Tis precious to us.
And we kind of got the combo with Immersturm Raiders here. Fair enough, Zulu. Well, glad to have you here, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. Oh. I was going to have a good time with that. All right, I mentioned the Immersturm Raider combo. Are you ready for it? I think I'd rather actually toss the pop. Because this is at least letting my Ravager ping for 2. Like, there's some stuff we could hit with it. That isn't any of it, so that's just standing in the way of progress. What did they pick? Too late for me to look. It was going to be Raider on Raider action. And then I drew the pop and was like, this is not really the turn I wanted that for. Boop. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It would be on elf. All right, I'll be right back. Vroom, vroom. So Stevie, I normally played the more competitive version of draft that was best of 3, but my buddy Hunter challenged me to get to number 1 in Mythic. So we're going to do that and then go back and play the actual competitive format. I just hope I don't do it too quick. Like, we need some time for the story to build. Gem printer's holding stable. It's hard for you to gain gems in best of 1. It's built to force your win percentage down. Just give me tournaments, man. That's what I want. Give me a draft tournament. Speaking of which, make sure you're tuned in Thursday, as we will have the first competitive limited tournament with Strix. Let's try that all over again. Speaking of tournaments, make sure you tune in this Thursday, where we'll be playing in the Sweatsuit Invitational double elimination Strixhaven draft best of 3. That's what I was trying to say until I tripped all over my tongue. That'll do, pig. You need to watch more, Rusty. Just stay tuned all the time. I'll win all the games. Easy. Sometimes I hate Immerstrom Raiders. But sometimes you just need a Goblin Piker. I don't have to discard anything. I think I only played an LSV in the Sweatsuit one time. We got Ben twice. Kanata's the person I can't beat when we face each other in streamer challenges. She's kicked my butt literally every time. I kind of need Linda or bust here. I mean, it's value to take out the troll, but like, they don't, one snowland could turn it on. It's incredibly awkward to have to make this attack, but I think I'd rather them not have that. No, Guiding Voice is unplayable, John. Haven't you seen the reviews from all the other streamers? So we could draw Crown, we could draw Pick. A couple things we could draw and just win. Although that's not helping. It's really not helping. Having spewed off the squash early, we are in some danger now. I can play the Arcanist, it just doesn't do anything. Right? Have I already... I haven't used a Demon Bolt yet, right? I have. Okay, so I could draw the Arcanist and get a Demon Bolt. Okay. Neat. Oh. Alright, one more. Calamity Bear is good, man. His good card. Is it better than Doritos, though? I suppose that would depend on how hungry you are. One mana sorcery. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Learn. That is the best white common. A lot of people don't know it. You do, because you're watching the stream and presumably read my article on face-to-face games. Exclamation point article if you have not gotten to that yet. Thank you very much, Chris.
Mythic Gamer. Bogchamp 44 Revigentilian 444 Duovigentilian 444 Unvigentilian 444 Vigentilian 444 Novemdecilian 444 Octodecilian 440.
Thank you, Chris. Much appreciated, my friend. I do not know when... I know where they will be posted. They will be posted on Foss Games. I do not know when they will be posted. So let's say sure they are. I'm an amazing author. I'm not so great an editor. It's okay. The misspellings were not intentional. The other articles have been edited. So the other ones that are coming out will look a lot better than that. Do not Demon Bolt my Calamity Bear. I'm going to be very cross at you if you do. I just said not to do that. Yeah, it's a meme, Canon. I like that better. So let's go with that. It's a meme. I had assumed editing would be provided by the site. Because I can't spell. And perhaps one day we can get that fixed. However, do not Demon Bolt my Augury Raven. I don't think... They don't seem to be listening. I specifically said not to, twice. I said not to, twice. Yes, John. Maybe you should. You could be the official editor. Hey, look, I got one too. What do you think of that? They're going to play Linda. And I'm going to need to draw land so that I can squash it in response to the Mirror Lake. They don't have mana for a Mirror Lake. So maybe I'll just kill it. Again, hoping we draw land. Face-to-face games. This is the second article I've ever written. The first one is really old and probably not worth going back and reading. Look at me. Not even legendary. We're just dead. We're just literally dead. That was fun. Thank you, Scotty. Neat. The only thing we've got going is that we can force some damage, so I'm going to have to try to race a 3/3 flyer that grows every turn. That doesn't seem incredibly likely to me, but it is the world we're living in, unless I'd just like to scoop in frustration, and that's not really my jam. Erg. Sure. The bold move, Cotton. I can tempo it one turn with Squash and get in for, what, 5? That's very unimpressive. That's incredibly unimpressive. What happens if I play the Hoggy Mob, pump it, and swing? They either take 5 or they double block it. I don't think they're double blocking it. They might chump it. It's fine too. Huggy, huggy birthday on this your special day. Huggy, huggy birthday is what I'm here to say. Hey! I guess they didn't want to take 5 damage. If I squash the Glade Warden and swing, we get in for 5. That may make the game go longer. This is about all I got, because I ain't got much. It's all good, Paul. I know that you were working on getting that. And I'm guessing that English is not your native language? I have to be able to force some damage through at some point. What happens if I swing team here? They chump this and take 2, 4. Oh, that's not quite enough. But if I ever get to the point where they can sacrifice that Mirror Lake or activate the Path to the World Tree, we just lose. I think I'm supposed to play the land and attack. Because I honestly don't think I can beat this any other way. I frankly don't think I can beat it now. So I could do that if they don't block. That was literally my only out. Mythic plays, yo. Alright, YouTubers, this is going to be the last Kaldheim video I post to YouTube. I appreciate you guys and gals watching on the YouTube. If you'd like to see more drafting, including Strixhaven coming up this Thursday, and the Sweatsuit Invitational Thursday evening, come check out the stream. It's at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. Chat, say goodbye to YouTube.